Hello there, IC3 people, friends. My name is Tiffany Brooks Browning, the human, and I just made dinner with my mom. I have been living here with her on disability. I mean, I've been living here on disability for about 2 years now. Like, we literally just had my, inauguration or whatever. Like, we have to redo it or whatever, you know what I mean? But, I miss my baby girl. She lives with her baby dad's. I mean, my baby's dad's, because I don't know why they said that like that. That's weird. And I mean, can you imagine, like, going somewhere and, like, somebody saying something out of your mouth and you're like, that's not what I meant to say. That was what they were saying. You already messed up the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already messed up. You already messed up what you were gonna say, and what are you gonna do? Be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I said bitch. You're ruining my conversation with these people, and they're just gonna look at you like, okay, so she just talked in first and third person. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. Anyways, so just so you know, I just made my plate. It is a super fattening. Oh my gosh. So we got corn on the cob, right? And I made the Mexican spread for it, which is literally butter mixed with mayonnaise and a bunch of tahini. And then you blend it up with one of those things, what do you call them? Egg beaters, right? Right? Make it all fluffy and stuff, and you put it on the corn, and you eat the outside first, and then you re-roll it, and then you eat the inside, and then that's when you get fat. So just so you know, that's when you get fat. And then my mom made a whole bunch of wieners. So this is the wieners in a cup with sauces or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this is a I've never had one of these. This is a whole wiener, but it's not really a wiener. It's not like a you want to stay here, Mr. Harrington. You do, because I talked to your wife a couple of months ago. I'm gonna try and make it as fast as possible, but with a little bit of comedic accent. I'm sorry, because I can't even be funny because they keep changing my words, man. I know. You remember when I called you guys? I was like, hey, Seattle. You can see through your eyes. They're like, we don't see through your eyes, Mom. Well, that's not what the FBI Portland said, hub. They're like, what FBI hub, Mom? I don't know. I mean, I didn't say none. Like, I'm expecting you to get in my head, on my body, and read my mind that you know exactly what I'm not saying. Because they do, and they're not even FBI. And that was a couple years ago. The IC3 land. Did you see my IC3 from last year? It was literally like a year ago today. You didn't see it? Probably because they took it out. Here, let me refresh your memory really quick. If I can find it. It's called FBI Report Alpha Beta Zulu ... space icon Zulu zebra. That's what this was last year at this time. And I know, what's so funny though, Mr. Harrington's wife, because you came down here and said, I will go over and above his pay grade over there in Portland to support you, Tiffany Brooks Browning, the one who has never been in trouble, the one who is not on drugs, the one who has been gang stalked from an alternate universe. You know what I'm saying? But just so you know, last year it was FBI report space alpha space beta space Zulu space dot no space. Okay, so FBI capital letters. Okay, so this is literally my Facebook. So this is Tiffany Browning. There's Tiffany space Browning space click space live tab. Click live tab. Okay, so it's Tiffany space Browning space click space live space tab. Okay. I had to search it on my tab because this is an Apple and it's not my laptop. So this is the only thing. I mean, if you want to, you can pull it up there. You want to? do it. Just do it. You'll see what's connected to it already. Some song calling like, I'm ready to go to hell. I don't know, some weird song, but anyway. This is a 21-minute and 25-second video that I'm going to play a little bit of it. Okay, well, I eat a little bit of food. I'm going to be talking to you back and forth at the same time. Hopefully you can hear both. I'm not sure if you'll be able to. All right. Yeah. FBI report Alpha Beta Zulu ... space icon space Zulu space zebra. Yeah, last year. Yeah, but you know what? You know what's so funny about last year? About the mistakes I made from July 18th till around now to hurt you. Not you per se, them. Right. But I had a clean hair follicle test on my birthday, which was July 3rd. I also had a clean hair follicle test on my daughter's birthday, which was July 10th. I also had a clean hair follicle test on July 17th, which is when you said, not you, Mr. Harrington, sir, or them, the other people, I guess, are from the, what's it called? The DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. And I'm not really sure if you guys are mixed together or whatever. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. I got 2 kids. They're blood, 1 step. But I raised him since he was, a year old. So anyway, all my children love me. Oh yes, they do. I mean, you guys, not you guys per se. Somebody made me feel like they didn't love me a whole lot. Not the boys, but the little one who was 10 back then. She's 15. She just turned 15. Did I tell you that? I know you guys keep telling me like we didn't mean to not pay for your apartment, Tiffany. Soraya's gonna get a quinceañera. Soraya's gonna get a quinceañera. Right. Yeah. She is half her mom, which is white and Spanish a little bit, and half her dad, which is half Navajo, half Mexican. So, yeah. Oh, she's beautiful. You should see her. I'm not going to show her to you because, I don't want to brag. Just so you know, it's not me talking out of my own mouth right now, you guys, up here, if you even watch this, because this is going to be an IC3. Okay, I'm going to turn it in online because this is literally the 1-year anniversary of you guys telling me from the upper echelon up here in Big Voice Land, whether you were actually Mr. Harrington or Mrs. Saccone or Mr. Cole or Mr. Bob Day or Mr. Price or whoever you're not, you guys told me up here in Big Voice Land that you didn't mean to set me up on my birthday last year. Google. Just so you know, I have a live YouTube channel. Okay, it's Tiffany Browning. Click the live tab. And if you guys are FBI, you can probably go into it. It's not that you even care enough to do it yet. But if you did care enough, you know what I'm saying? You can go in there into the manage videos section of measurement and you can go back until the dates, right? So on July 17th-ish, before I, didn't do what I did for my revolt, I jumped in a pool. I was crying. I was screaming at you guys. There's names being said and stuff, but that was last year. This year, I cry every day because I miss my baby girl. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? You get falsely imprisoned for something you didn't do as a mother who's never been in trouble. You go to prison or jail or something. And your little girl, like, you messed up for like 3 years, but when you started messing up, it wasn't because it was your fault. It was because of what happened. Like, somebody left you for somebody different. They sold the house. All of a sudden you're homeless and you had to find somebody homeless. So you did drugs for a little while. Your family, him, her, your daughter, nobody knew that you did drugs for a little while. You know what I mean? They had no idea, no clue. And you're looking at her every time you see her, she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get out of this life? Like, how am I going to get out of this situation? I don't have a job. I was a stay-home mom, blah, blah, blah. I just lost my apartment because they promised to pay for it and they lied. You know what I mean? Here I am 5 years later. It's literally July 24th, 2026, man. 2026, okay? 2026. It was 2021 when I got out of that life. Yeah. He left me for somebody else. His parents sold the house. He moved with his girlfriend. Me and my mom were homeless. We slept in our cars. I've been a homeless kid. Yeah. He was 35. I was like, I don't know, 38 or something, or maybe he was 28. He was 28. I was 38. Okay. Yeah, I moved to Salem, myth capital of the world. Whoopsies. Transmission went out. Next thing you're pushing my car every time. He's stealing stuff at the one gas station, going to the other gas station, we're warming up. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I had to go. I literally, like, a stay-home mom. Didn't do drugs. Never been in that life. But my baby girl was all I ever wanted. All I ever wanted was a little girl. But that was my second child birth out of my womb. Okay. My son was my firstborn. Okay. But he was kicked out at that point because I can't tell you, that's besides the point. My stepson, who is also my baby, was around, you know what I mean? But he only lived with us 50-50. So he lived with us 50-50 and her 50-50. So, anyways, yeah, I'm a good mom. I'm not on drugs. My hair follicles are definitely, cleaner than your budget, I guess, over there in Mickey Mouse land. All right, so I start to go on a ramp, but just so you know, like, it's not that you're actually gonna watch this because you won't probably, but um whatever's said out of my mouth and however this goes down, it starts off with me with a mission, and then it turns into other people with their own mission up here where I'm not at. So I can't even finish like a topic or a sentence or nothing. Like, it turns into something different, and I even forget what was my goal. Like, I literally have 3 devices here, a piece of paper, a book, like things that I want to touch on, but chances are I'm probably not going to get there. So just so you know, our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. I'm sorry if that seems weird. I'm putting something through the camera, and you won't know that I'm the only for because you're not me or them. And I don't know what we're saying, but by the time you see this, you won't know what it says because it's probably something different. Oh, look, it's a bunch of not naked people all of a sudden. You ever seen yourself like sitting on the toilet doing something like, I don't know, peeing, pooping, looking naked or whatever, but your head's gone? Me either. I hear people talking about it all the time. It's weird. They must be crazy. By the way, my doctor never diagnosed me with schizophrenia, and no doctor ever told me that I had vitiligo. Okay? Yeah. The first time I ever heard the term vitiligo was in my head, and that was 5 years ago when they said Tiffany Brooks Browning, tall and skinny, dark hair, vitiligo, threw a gun away. I do have spots. It is an autoimmune disease. I know. It's like, I mean, if you could, I do have like one of those bright lights. You can't really see it right now, but if you could, you'd know what I'm not saying. I have gained 40 pounds. I'm not sure how. I go to the doctor's office, and she's like, Tiffany, you Tiff, there's no way you have gained 12 pounds since our last appointment. Well, scroll again. I don't think so either. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, like, I know why I did, but I can't really tell you, doctor, because you're a human and you're not a peer. The times stuff into my body, you know what I mean? Like I don't mean to be TMI, but you know what I mean? Like, when you have your menses or whatever, it's like spotty or whatever when you have an IUD, right? Mine's not spotty sometimes. Some months it's just like, ooh, wow. You need to go buy some different, situations to withstand all that information, Okay, well, I did. Yeah, I'm about 160 now. Yeah, I weighed 105 March 17th, 2022, when I moved across the bridge from Portland, Oregon to Washington State to get away from you guys, I guess. Not you guys, Washington. Them over there. They used to call it meth-induced psychosis voices, but you know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Like, I'm sitting in the shower, and I have a tea light lit in my shower because I feel like they can watch me because they're talking into my head, right? And I must be crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, can you see me? And she's like, yeah, B word. I'm all, how the F do you see me? What, you got night goggles on? They tell me later on, they're like, I'm so sorry, Tiffany. We didn't actually see you, man. We saw somebody else taking a shower that wasn't taking a shower. I'm sorry. We had no idea that you were going through this. Whoops, dude, you were included in something that you weren't supposed to be included in. We're sorry, bro. We're sorry. I'm all, thanks. Okay. So I move across the bridge, everything shuts off. Anyway, I don't know why they flipped me off right there, but anyways, so we're just gonna go back to a year ago, my FBI report card, and we're gonna play a little bit of it while I eat some dinner. Because I'm pretty sure that.
Just tell you the story again. Okay, so 3 years ago, a drone sent me bodies from the sky.
I don't know.
I don't know that's what they were doing. Somebody was already in my head. Tell me to look up. Okay, I laid down on a bed. I felt a machine scan me up, down, up. They connected 3 people to me. One of them was a really bad person. All right, and I don't know who it is because I'm not their friend. And they told me that they did it so they could do porn after Anthony Ciaz, Katrina Hayward, and Amy Young moved to Arizona. And I would never do pornography, okay? And anyway, that's what they told me. And so and they were crying in my body, like bawling their eyes out. And so they told me to go outside and look up, and she was going to pull me up there to fix it. And so I don't know if she actually pulled me up or not, because they told me when they tried to pull me up there was somebody else in me or something, or they thought I was up there on line 1 to be pulled up, but I'm not, because I've never been in trouble. But anyways, so that's that. So these people have been talking out of my mouth and in my head and in my inner ear and outer ear and stuff. And this program has evolved over 3 years into, before I could barely hear the game itself or whatever it isn't, like the background. That's not Tiffany doing that.
What I'm saying is they're not actually
the background or whatever. It's hard to explain. I used to hear it through sound waves, but
they're not actually going to come on a video with me and be like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, this is how we were connected and we were this and that. Like, we're confident or we're paid for it. No, they're not going to say nothing. At all, necessarily. Once I get my money, I'm going to have to pay them hush money. You know what that means? It means you pretend that you and everybody else that knows what's going on, though, and I didn't, doesn't talk about it ever again. But yet I have 1,000.1K videos on live YouTube talking about it with you in the background. And what are you doing? I don't know. It looks like porno for me, Portland. In virtual reality. Would you go on our Facebook? You find all my pretty girl friends. Like, I do have a boob job. I'm sorry. But it is just the smallest boob job you could have gotten. It was like 20 years ago. But, I got at least 2 or 3 friends that have one. And if you ever watched it, was never the drugs in their life. They didn't have my life. They didn't become homeless. The parents didn't sell the house, and me and my mom lived out our cars and they found some homeless boy and whoop-de-whoop. That's not their life. It is a different life. But Portland life, the Portland life, you know what I mean? The Portland life is different, So I was a newbie amongst everybody. I was there around them for about a year, maybe, at that. And my homeboy took me in when I was homeless, living out of my van with him and his girlfriend and stuff. And so, anyways, yeah, that was AK. You guys know him, well, even though he doesn't live in Portland. No more, he lives in Arizona.
And now I can hear it, like, it's hard to explain, like, inside my ear, brain, outside. It's over there somewhere. There's people getting tortured. There's people watching something up here and on like a TV or something over and over again. They're live streaming virtual reality pornography up here.
It's not me.
Okay, and I don't know how they're doing it because it's not through a computer, I don't think. I think it's through brain stems. Okay, and like I've seen virtual reality flashes of porn in my face. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's like a flash of it in my face. And I hear these people saying, stop showing me my mom's private parts and all this shit, right? And stop doing this.
This is from 1 year ago. I've been going through this for 5 summers now.
Or whatever they're not saying.
My baby girl was 10 years old. She really just turned 15. 15!
Ma'am, that's not Tiffany doing that right now. That was this morning, and you can't get mad at her because they messed her life up. They promised her yesterday. There's a white triangle with a white circle on top.
Yeah, because we are talking about the revolt that I did last year. Because when I was camping on my birthday, I came down to, like, Tiffany, once again, like, literally they've told me every year around, July 3rd, 10th, somewhere in July or August, like the beginning of August, somewhere in July. I don't know exactly when this happened to me. I just remember it was sometime in the summertime around my birthday, which is July 3rd, 1980, that this happened in 2022 to me. But this was literally 6 months after I had got off drugs, moved across the bridge to get the F away from them. But they were still in my head, scaring me to the point where I pull my mom in the bathroom and, I can't really say what's not being said, but you know what I'm saying? But I do have proof, and you guys have proof too. And I'm not even 100% sure if you have it on the human being floor yet, but you will. And I'm not talking to you guys now, Mr. Harrington, sir, because I went back down to the police level of measurement. I don't know, something bad just happened again. Okay, well, all right, so that was that. I was just refreshing your memory, Seattle, on how to eat some corn on the cob. And what you do is you bite the outside off. You know, if you like to be fat, you know what I mean? And then you re-dip it in your butter, your salt, or whatever. This isn't. Like I said, there's just mayonnaise, butter, and tahini, and a little bit of garlic salt. You know. Oh. When I saw the Mexicans put mayonnaise on their corn, I was like, bro, gross. I can actually speak Spanish, you know, but you know, my whole family is Mexican, so, or Spanish or something on the other side. Yeah, they keep calling me Gorda because I've gained a lot of weight. Anyway, so my doctor, she's like, "Wow, Tiffany, I can't believe you gained 12 pounds. Like, this is not normal." I know, man. I wish I could tell you other times he stuffed in my body, doctor, but I can't. So it's not for nothing. And I go to the hospital for some other thing that can't be proven either, and they're like, "Well, okay, well, shoot, okay, well, I don't know, you know, I don't really know." So they end up doing an ultrasound on my liver, right? And they're like, "Yeah, you know, okay, well, this is your liver in real life. This is your liver, you know, it's like, you know, a little around the same size as your heart, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's this size, and yours is so your liver's supposed to be a 50. Yours is a 250. I'm like, how, with fat on it? I'm like, fat? Are you serious? I don't even eat breakfast or lunch or nothing. I eat this kind of meal with my, I mean, granted, this is an actual really fatty meal, but my mom makes dinner every night for me, and she has vegetables in it and everything. I don't eat breakfast or lunch hardly ever. I never eat breakfast. Every once in a while, I have some lunches, like that's not me doing that. So, sorry, I will have a lunch that consists of, like, you know, tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich, you know, but that's only every once in a while. And that's usually Monday after I drank all weekend, because I tend to drink a little too much. But I do drink by myself in my bedroom. You know, it's not, I know you might have seen me in videos, like, you know, chugging it or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if you could see my daughter and stuff, like, you know, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to cry. You know, like, my family had no idea I did drugs. He left me for somebody else. Remember that story? Yeah, he left me for somebody else. I thought we were going to stay together till she was 18 and date on the side or whatever, but we lived in his parents' house, and I became a stay-at-home mom. You know? And there's a pencil there. A stay-at-home mom, and to be there for the kids, especially my son, because he was getting in trouble in daycare and stuff. But anyway, the point is, me and my ex had no idea that his parents were going to sell the house we were living in, and he was the provider in that situation. We had been engaged for 14 years. My daughter was 5.5. 5.5. So we had broke up. 6 months later, his parents sold the house. Okay, 6 months later, his parents sold the house. And he already had a girlfriend on the side. I didn't. I just had one guy that I'd met at the store one time. And so me and my mom lived there too. Carol, the one I live with now, back then she had lost her job taking care of my dad because my dad had died. So now my dad died, and she gets his Social Security. So she has an apartment now, so I can live with her. But back then, me and her had nowhere to go. So he moved in with her, with my daughter and my stepson. My blood son was already kicked out, and you know, and that's what it wasn't when she was 4.5. Okay, when she was 10 years old. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So whatever. They moved in. I was homeless. I met this homeless kid. Whoop de whoop. He lived with me in my car. I had an apartment for a while. Whatever. You know, paid for by COVID payments, because I was working for my sister and we got laid off because of COVID or whatever. So they paid for my apartment for a year or whatever. So, you know, that's literally 3 years of messing up. And I would go there to his house and see my baby girl. You know what I mean? I didn't bring her to my house because, you know, I never knew who was going to come in and out after, you know, what we're not saying. You know what I mean? And they had no idea. They had no clue. No clue. There was no weird stuff there. Like, I don't know why you're not taking her on the weekends or something. Like, it's not what it wasn't. Like, my nephew lived in the other room. I had a room. It was just a little tiny apartment over there off Core Street called Kenneth Allen. You know what I mean? So, like, there was nothing. My family had no idea that I was going through what I wasn't going through. So anyway, March 17, 2022, I moved across the bridge to get away from them. And what you guys, not you guys, sir, but them, were saying over there in Portland in my head, in and out of my head, on my phone, whatever they weren't, changing my passwords to my Facebooks and different things like that, you know. And certain people would say little things around me, and I'm just looking at them like, dude, I'm not, like, I am the nicest, sweetest person in the world. Like, I would help anybody. Like, there's no way that these girls or this dude really just said what they said. And that literally only happened twice. But on my Facebook and stuff, it happened off and on. And then he changed my passwords. So now I have no idea what's going on. But anyways, all right. So that's what that was it. The video for the IC3, I think I already said it, is that, and now we're crying. And I don't know why. But I'm gonna remind you guys of how you remember to do your jobs, okay? It's called treason. Is the reason for the season. Treason. The attempt to overthrow by overt acts to overthrow the government of one's own state to which the offender owes allegiance. Example: to cross the Columbia River, following the brainstem from Oregon to Washington into a woman's mind or her phone, her computer, etc., like she is a fed or a paid informant or a confidential who has never been in trouble and is not a drug addict even, and torment her for what they are doing in their state over there in Oregon is wrong. So wrong in that regard. I'm on disability for this. I cannot work or function normally at all. They called it schizophrenia in the ambulance. My doctor never once told me I had schizophrenia. Okay? They strapped me to a gurney, not just around my waist like normal people, but my wrists. Because they were yelling out of my mouth to shut it off, shut it off, shut it off. Whether you believe it or not, sir, you believe it up here, and so does your wife. So does Mr. Bob Day, and so does Miss Morrissey O'Donnell, and Mr. Scarpelli is getting mad at me because I think he thinks that I'm saying his name wrong because he's Mr. Saccone. That's no Tiffany on drugs. Every day they come down here. Tiffany Brooks Browning, are you on drugs? I'm all, I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs. Last year around this time, what? You told me you set me up again as a fucking FBI agent or a DEA person up here? Big voice and skyish type people. I said, I'm just gonna kill myself or go back to using drugs, but I'm a mom. I'm gonna kill myself or go back to using drugs till you disconnect me, because you guys cannot be connected to me and get paid for whatever you're doing. Whether you're being a fake Fed informant or a lawbreaker or whatever it isn't, you're breaking the law. And you've been doing that. Scandalous ass Portland. I'm sorry if I said ass. Anyways, I'm going to continue reading this because now they're saying something different in the whack law department. I don't know what they're saying because I can't understand their language because I'm not smart enough. Man. All right, so anyway. Once again, treason. The attempt to overthrow by overt acts to overthrow government of one's own state to which the offender owes allegiance. Example: to cross the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon, following a brainstem or a computer or a phone to Washington in a woman's mind named Tiffany Brooks Browning, who has never been in trouble, like she is a fed or a paid informant or a confidential, is not a drug addict even, and torment her for what your state, Portland, Oregon, is doing in Porntown virtual reality, or maybe it's something different. In that regard, I'm on disability for this. I can't work or function normally at all. So the first time I ever heard them say the term, did I ever say this? I didn't say this right. The first time I ever heard them say the term vitiligo, right? Which is an autoimmune disease that I have, but I didn't know that's what it was called. It was just pigment missing from my skin periodically, you know what I mean? And they said, this was 5 years ago, they said, in my head, they said, Tiffany Brooks Browning, tall, skinny, dark hair, vitiligo, threw a gun away. I'm all, no, I didn't. I didn't throw a gun away. I was never involved in nothing. Like, I don't, like, the worst thing that we did together with my friends that did drugs was like sell them to get free dope. And that was 5 years ago or more, and only for like 1 year with them. And then, you know, whatever the homeless kids did in my car when we lived together, they call them kids because they were like 10 or 20 years younger than me. But anyway, Clay, I don't know. He was 28. I don't know. They all seem like little youngsters to me. But anyways, it doesn't matter. The point here is is I was homeless because of my circumstances, not because I chose to be. I did not get on drugs because I wanted to, or because I tried it once and messed up and couldn't like take care of my kids all of a sudden, or my family knew, and or I had to go through CPS. Whatever your shit is up here, sir, not you, Mr. Harrington, but that one is bullshit. You know, Anthony Ciaz did in fact write my mother, Carol. Okay, this was when we weren't friends anymore. He
You want the last tablespoon of the potatoes, otherwise I'm going to
No, that's okay. I'm full.
Okay.
Thanks. He is the one who called Tanika Brown's parole officer. This is what his text message said to my mother. He called Tanika Brown's. Tanika Brown is a felon in Portland, Oregon. It's a long story. There's a whole. You might know the backstory for that part, but anyway, he called her parole officer and said needles and drugs are being done in front of kids. It's what my mom told me that he sent her. She forwarded the message to me. I'm like, what the hell? But this was after, like he picked me up in the car when I was scared one day because these people were telling me certain things, like I was going to get in trouble because I was his reflection or someone else's for some crime they did, and I need to hang out with him. He'll fix it or something like that. This is what they said. And he shows up at my house with her in the car. I've never met this girl. She's black. She's a felon. She's beautiful and not me at all. And he's talking to her in the front seat while we drive to my apartment. Like he's saying stuff to her, like he had already had some conversation with me for them to reopen my apartment for them to stay at or whatever. And I didn't really care. Like there's no jealousy there. That's not what it was. It's just that when I moved out, the people who were there said you can come back anytime and get your stuff, because it was connected to the office. You know what I'm saying? And I was a good person, and they knew I was a good person. They knew that he wasn't, and the people that he hung out with weren't, but they knew I was a good person. And so they can come back. You can come back anytime you get your stuff, right? This was like, I don't know, 6-8 months after that, right? And so he takes me to my apartment with her in the car talking about this arrangement. Like he had already talked to me about it for him or us to go down to the courthouse and remove the whatever it was. Anyways, we get there, right? And there's the whole door is boarded up. I'm all, oh, okay. Yay, thank God. I really didn't want to do this, you know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna call the maintenance man. I'm like, I'll get my stuff later. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking I'll just come back later with like a police, or like I'll call the owner or whatever and come to get my stuff. He's like, no, Tiffany, you need to get in there and get your stuff, or something. Like he can't even remember how he talked me into the situation, but I was already scared from the other thing about them saying they set me up when I was his or their reflection. And she's there too. And so he's saying it in front of this girl who I've never met before. Anyway, so the maintenance guy comes, whoop-de-whoop, unlocks the door. But before that, I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to go home. And he's like, you need to, blah, blah, blah. So he talked me and he coerced me into letting the maintenance man take the board off the wall and let us in, the three of us, into my old apartment where all of my stuff is. Not his stuff, not her stuff, my stuff. My stuff. Everything I earned as a stay-at-home mother and as a working person growing up. All my pictures, my furniture, everything in that apartment. Not his, not hers, mine. Mine. So next thing you know, they all have free range to my apartment. And I don't even live there. I live at my mother's. And I can come back anytime and get my stuff, they said. Anyway, I lost everything. Because these people told me they were going to pay for my apartment because of what they did to me. Keeping me illegally connected to Portland, Oregon's, I don't know, Feds District, NARC program. Arizona's in there somewhere for some reason. Anyways, once again, treason, the attempt to overthrow by overt acts to overthrow government of one's own state, which the offender owes allegiance. Example, to cross the Columbia, follow in a brainstorm from Oregon to Washington in a woman's mind, her phone or her computer or etc., like she is a Fed or a paid informant or a confidential or a narc, has never been in trouble and is not a drug addict even, and torment her for what your state is doing wrong in that regard. I'm on disability for this. I can't work or function normally at all. I can't provide for my daughter 4+ years, 4.5 years. You've been breaking the law from your state and mine because I'm on disability now. So yeah, the schizophrenic title. That somebody they strap me down to a gurney. It's it's just annoying because it goes on and on and on about a bunch of stuff that you don't even fucking care about. Sorry, sir. Disparagement. To belittle or degrade a person or idea. Disparage is a specific way to describe a certain kind of insult, the kind that secures the insulter's place as superior, often an opinion or criticism lobbed in print or via word of mouth, not necessarily an act to one's face, i.e., gang stalking online, disrespect, and humiliating AI altered information to where no one wants to stick up for you. Sir, Mr. Harrington, sir. Like I said before, I filed a police report in Portland, Oregon, telling them my story. It's basically this story with a lot more details in it. It was a different video. And then he writes me back. He says, your police report, it was a 20-minute video. He said, I can't believe that you, right? Because when you try to file a police report, sir, sorry, I'm not trying to do my secret online. When you try to file a police report, sir, in Portland, there's not a place to be like online gang stalking or whatever happens. Like it's literally like real crimes, like somebody stole my car or they broke into my house or something like that. So I had to pick something, right? So he writes me back from the Lions Club or whatever, and he's like, I can't believe that you wrote me and told me to watch this video incriminating nobody in the topic you listed, and then send me a video of you doing something with you saying you're not doing it. And I'm just sitting there like, oh no. What video? I didn't send a video. You attach a video is what he said. There's no way all I can do is put, links like from YouTube or something. Like there was no place to attach a file. Okay, I did not attach nothing to my Portland Police Bureau police report. Okay, the first police report supposedly contradicted the second police report. Both police reports were the same shit as what I'm saying now. I'm sorry I said the S word. Okay, the third police report was the same thing also. And then he writes me back something like that. You guys know how to read minds, right? Like you can drop down here if you can find me when my brain stems are split. Yes, I'm saying it wasn't the DEA, it wasn't the FBI. Nobody was what's it called? Nobody was investigating me. How I got connected ain't because of your people, sir, or theirs, or the cops even. It was my own homeboys that were really good hackers, tweakers. They knew how to fucking break into cell phones and computers and somehow or another get connected to a brainstem. And I'm not 100% sure if it wasn't because one of them was a Fed, sir, from Portland. These people were from Portland. And I know that for a fact. They were gang controllers and everything. And you don't know what a gang controller is because you're from Washington State / Seattle. Portland, Oregon is scandal. Like all the way scandalous, man. But none of them will sit here in my bedroom right now because they all do drugs still. I'm like, yeah, hey, you guys, They're like, I don't know what you mean to me. You know what I mean? But they already know. But up here in FBI land, they all know. Like, you can read their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can ask them questions to their face. Be like, robbery. You don't even have to ask them, did you rob somebody? You just say it in front of their face. Robbery. And they're sitting there, huh? Or just say, the cops are here. Huh? You hear their subconscious brains freaking out because either they think they did something because they're not themselves, or they know they did something and they're scared they're going to get arrested, or something different. Yeah, but that's my people that know that. Not yours, not theirs, mine. I got this guy over here. That's all he does is come down here. I don't want her on my registry. She's had an STD before. I'm a motherfucker. Sorry, sir. You were not allowed to have a registry, Portland. None of us are feds. We've never been in trouble. I've never been in trouble. And what are you doing? Pinging off Amanda Tessia with her 7 felonies? Why? Because she got raided? She lives in Washington. You're not allowed to ping off her either. Bruh. Anthony Ciaz, Katrina Hayward, they moved to Arizona or somewhere different, Mexico. They don't live here in Washington or Oregon where you're from. You disparaged me and every other girl that I've ever met in my life because of STDs or whatever the fuck you wanted to say, like we were doing virtual reality porn. None of us were doing that. I'm a Christian mother. I would never do that. And this happened to me after I got away from them because of what you guys were saying in my head over there when I was on drugs. And Anthony C. is be like, oh, don't listen to him, Tiffany. We can still have sex. Nobody's watching us. It's just meth-induced psychosis voices. But next thing you know, the pictures are coming down to the computer system, huh? Making fun of my wrinkly twat. Is what you're saying? That's what you call it, right? Me and Carol, my mom, 80 years old. Disparagement. Disparagement. To belittle or denigrate a person or idea. Disparage is a specific way to describe a certain kind of insult, the kind that secures the insulter's place as superior. Often an opinion or criticism lobbed in print or via word of mouth, not necessarily an act to one's face, i.e. gang stalking online, disrespect and humiliating AI-altered information to where nobody wants to stick up for you. DEI stands for diversity, equality, and inclusion. Do you know what that means? That means a peaceful work environment in my brain and in the upper echelon or wherever you're not at up here. So what are you going to do? Huh? I'm not talking to you, Mr. Harrington. I'm talking to them. Because you were already up here talking to me, and so was your wife. Your wife said, I'm Mr. Harrington's wife. I'm going to go over and above his pay grade from Portland, thinking he's all that, sitting there trying to decimate the character of an innocent mother who's never been in trouble. I don't give a fuck now if she's ever done drugs or not. But most people, that's what I mean. Like, I remember that, dude. I remember that. I remember when I was younger, like, seeing drugs, I was like, gross. Like, ew. Those are bad people. Like, I don't want nothing to do with them. How scary. But once they hear my story, like, I got on drugs because my ex left me for somebody else. Yeah, his parents sold the house. He moved in with her, with my daughter and my stepson. My son was already homeless. I lived out of my car. I met somebody homeless, and we did drugs for whatever. But that was 5 fucking years ago. 5 years ago. I did drugs for 3 years. Once I was on drugs, I didn't know how to get off them. And it's not necessarily that I was addicted to the drugs. It's just that I didn't know how to get out of the lifestyle because I was still living out of my car. And when I wasn't living out of my car, I got the COVID grant for my apartment, and drug addicts were coming in and out of my house, and I couldn't control my environment. But I left my apartment behind to get off drugs. I lost everything in it. All of it. All of it. Everything. All my pictures. And on top of that, sir, they've changed my passwords to my Tiffany. By the way, last time I made a report, I'm pretty sure they changed it to say at google.com. It's Tiffany143785 @gmail.com. Tiffany143457 @gmail.com. Not at Google. Yes, they can change my voicemails. They can change my everything. Dude, I'm looking back on my Facebook account. By the way, Tiffany Browning, the one with it's a black and white button with me and my daughter. Okay. It's the same. It's one of those emails, I think. Or it might be 7, thegoddessofwarandwisdom.com, with no second E on the 7. So it's SEVN, thegoddessofwarandwisdom.com. I mean, gmail.com. Right. They changed my password there. My passwords are the same for everything, sir. They've been changing my passwords for everything. I don't have any pictures. I don't have any hard copy pictures of me being a mama. I don't have any online pictures of me being a mama to my babies when I was pregnant or nothing. All I have is the pictures that I've taken in the last 4 years or the last 3, because they also changed my password to the button one, like I said. Sir, I've never been in trouble. I can't lie in my subconscious brain. And you know for a motherfucking fact that you can read minds. When I called Seattle, Washington, I said, you know how you can look through my eyes? And they said, we don't look through your eyes, all snobby. I was like, I'm thinking, oh shit. Who the fuck's looking through my eyes then? Who the fuck's talking out of my mouth? Because if you're not looking out of my eyes, then who the fuck's talking out of my mouth? That sounds even crazier, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, just so you know, you guys, not you guys, sir, but somebody up here with their report cards talking about Tiffany schizophrenic vitiligo threw a gun away, when I had never been diagnosed with vitiligo or schizophrenia, and the lady in the ambulance said it after they strapped my arms to a gurney, acting like I was crazy because they were yelling at me, shut up, and my freaking head was burning on fire, and I get there, and my hair's literally almost melted together. Forgot. Shoot. Darn it. I really felt like I was on a good wave there. Either way, the point is I was not diagnosed with nothing by a doctor. Like I didn't even have a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like just like schizophrenia. vitiligo. I'm looking at her. I start bawling in the ambulance. Like, I was already freaking out because these people had already told me they had set me up for throwing the gun away, for some robbery or some murder or some homicide of some dude named Machiano, who was some Mexican mafia dude from Arizona. But if I'm somebody's reflection, sir, like, can you imagine how scared I am when these people told me in my head that? This Russian dude tried to literally throw me in his van, saying he saw me on his security footage, stealing stuff from his backyard. And this was 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Okay. And then I was at my friend's house about 4 years ago now. And they said, oh, we heard gunshots. Somebody just shut up the house. I'm sitting there like, you guys heard gunshots? What are you talking about? Like, I have really, really hypersensitive hearing most of the time. You know what I mean? And maybe it is hypersensitive hearing for a different reality, but or maybe it's they're hypersensitive for a different reality. But in any case, he shows me the security footage, and literally the dude standing next to me looking at it like, I wonder who did that. Like, he didn't look scared. He didn't look like, you know what I mean? Him and me were watching it, and with my friend. And I saw his face jump out at me with the boom, 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 because it was a car and then a gun, and somebody, you see in the nighttime, you see the gun light up, right? But his face jumped out at me, and I look at him, and I look at the camera, and I look at the other girl, and I'm like, oh, guess it wasn't him then. Thank God. That would have been stupid. You know what I mean? But there's no way that he would have shot up that house when that's his friend that lives there. But that's who I seen juxtaposed through the community center camera system. Mary Carlos, Jubal, I don't know his last name. Scooby was the one I seen in the video, but he didn't do that. Nobody got hurt, no. But I was there when they said that. They came up there, and they're like, oh my God, we just heard something. I'm like, from what, an alternate universe? Because I've heard stuff too many times. Like, I know somebody came to my house and banged on my door. Me and my mom both heard it. And we walk outside. There's nobody there. There's nobody in the parking lot. There's nobody in cars. There's nobody anywhere. Banged on the door at like 3 a.m. Anyway, so he tried to throw me in the back of his car or whatever. Somebody else came out. Hey, woo woo, and he's like, I saw you stealing stuff from the back of on my security footage. And he's trying to show me his security footage. And all I'm trying to do is get the hell away from this Russian dude. Homeboy runs out, he grabs me, and he's cussing at him or whatever. But he literally thought he saw it, even if it wasn't me, man. He saw a female with long hair stealing stuff from his backyard. Rather, my homeboy stole stuff from his backyard with my reflection on, or maybe it was in an alternate universe. This man was 100% sure he saw a female looking like me stealing stuff from his backyard. Sure enough, to try to throw me in his truck and take me down to the precinct. Anthony C. is his friend. He don't live here no more, sir. He lives in Arizona. Yeah, that's why I ran out when the cops came here, when they were yelling, shut it off, shut off, shut off. My mom goes, my daughter, she's screaming, shut it off. Her head's burning or something like that. I can't even tell what she's saying because she's crying so hard because my face was burning, and it felt like it was burning, and it was burning, and I couldn't prove it. I'm watching my hair sizzle up and stuff. And whether you want to, you can't really do that, sir. You can't. You really have to take it down a notch. And she's not okay. I saw in my eyes, because if you come in my body, which you can't because he's already here. But if you came in my body or any memory, like we've literally seen my hair go right in front of me. Okay. Because I'm not alone here. Mrs. Cody's friend seen it too, I guess. Anyways, all right. So we don't like to commit treason in Oregon, with a wink next to it, I guess. I've lived in Vancouver since 4 years. I've been illegally connected to your feds over there, Portland, Oregon, tormenting me for things that their friends did or are doing this year, last year, any year. I did not break into my office. That was my ex-best friend and his friend 5 years ago now, and then somebody else 3 years ago. Common sense says her name was on the lease. Her name was the only name on the lease. Why would she break into the office over there in Portland, Oregon? Kenneth Allen Apartments number 1, connected to the manager's office, which is her first bedroom apartment. That'd be stupid, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be stupid, especially when your apartment is getting paid for by COVID payments. I did not do nothing wrong to no one. I lost everything in my apartment. I lost all my pictures, everything. FTC reports, internal affairs reports, IC3 reports, IC9 reports, police reports to Vancouver and Portland and Arizona. A couple other reports. I've never gotten a response back at all, ever. Not that I really want one, because it's kind of scary sometimes, you know what I mean? Except for when I emailed Vancouver. That's what I'm saying. Like, I emailed Vancouver, and this was, I don't know, 3 years ago now. Some judge wrote me back. She said, there's a report on a desk in Portland. And then Mr. Dewey, the police officer from Vancouver, Washington, said, you need to check CPS Portland. Because I'm telling him, like, I didn't hurt nobody. I've never been in trouble. I'm being tormented in my head. Like, I can't get disconnected or get my money because they said there's some weird stuff. You know, so I called CPS Vancouver. This was before they even said CPS Portland, right? So I called CPS Vancouver. My daughter never lived with me. She lived with her dad. This wasn't my problem. If it was about drugs or anything else, it was not me doing it. And if it was not about drugs, then definitely that was definitely a fucking setup, because nobody that I know ever did anything like that or whatever. You know? I mean, I know a few fucking people that might have been like angry people, but they never hurt a child. They might have hurt their adult kid or whatever. But that was in drug land. Man. So anyway, I called CPS Vancouver, and they're like, no, it's just a closed file. I was like, oh, okay. And this was like in 2022 or 23, after they had called me and didn't leave a voicemail, but they used to call us back. So I called them back. They were closed. So then I called them the next day or whatever. They're like, oh, yeah, it's just a closed file. Okay. It's like, oh, okay, it must have been a wrong number. That was weird. You know what I mean? So I'm writing the judges because these people are telling me there's something going on up here. Rather, they think it's drugs in the apartment every day where their kid lives, or some sort of abuse or something different. And it wasn't just CPS, dude. It was homicide. It was robbery. It was a bunch of fucking shit. It was a bunch of shit. It was scary as fuck. So scary that they had to change my passwords to my Google so that I can't even prove to you in 2022 what I was going through. Because guess what? In an alternate universe, it's going to point exactly who did what or who they thought did what and why they did it to set me up underneath there thinking I was him. I know at least 3 people I think that have been killed and or faked their death because of what has happened to me. Because of what happened to them before me. And it might not have been their fault. Treason. This is treason, Mr. Harrington. Mrs. Harrington, this is treason from Portland, Oregon. They stole 5 years from me now. 5 summers, dude. 5 summers. My baby girl was 10 years old when I got off drugs. I left my whole apartment behind that was still paid for by COVID payments. He was still there, Anthony Ciaz. He was still there coming in and out of my apartment. I didn't even care no more. I was just done. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. You're supposedly going to get some tow truck money and move to Arizona. That's what I was trying to wait for. Thinking like, okay, fine. I'll leave. I'll be able to get off drugs finally and get my life together. But I couldn't do it with him around. But at some point in time, you're going to hurt my son in jail? What the fuck? So I left. I had my brother pick me up, and I left my apartment behind with him in it. I lost my whole apartment and everything in it. I now have an eviction because apparently he went to the courthouse to reopen the apartment. And I don't know why they keep changing it to say room or whatever. But anyway, if you look Portland, Oregon, if you look, it says Anthony Ciaz went to the courthouse, not me. I didn't go there because he wanted my apartment to stay open because he was in a union job now all of a sudden. Black guy, been a felon. I don't know how he got in there. I'm pretty sure it was under the table. But anyway, he wanted someplace to go when he came back to do his alternate community service and or wherever he wasn't doing. Because when you do his union job, he would do it for a little while and then he'd come somewhere and stay there for like a week, I think. So he'd work like a week or 2 weeks or straight or whatever, however it worked out. But he didn't have anywhere else to go except my apartment. Well, I lived here with my mom. Not here in this apartment, here in Fisher's Landing, but over there in the house. It was the same house layout as 71st Circle on my brown TB 206MC driver's license. Back when I was still a stay-at-home mama. I did not hurt nobody. I've never been in trouble. I was never accused of nothing. They could change my videos. I did not kill Macchiano. I don't even know who Macchiano is. I just know that he was supposedly Mexican Mafia, middle son, older son named Lucci, and I don't know who the younger son was. And that's not because somebody said that to me in person. It's because of what I heard in my head. They told me 3 different stories about that kid. One was somebody went in there to rob them. Didn't know there was a kid there. They cased the place. Didn't know there was a kid there, whether he was a kid or a teenager or whatever it wasn't. They didn't know he was there, right? So they go in there, they feel, oh shit, and they accidentally pop him. Blood spurts all over the walls. That's one story. Second story is dad killed son, blame Lucci or the younger brother. They don't speak English, and he didn't go to the court date. And I forgot what the third one was. I don't know nobody named Lucci or Maciano or nothing. I just heard about the story. I know Luciano was the older brother, Maciano was the middle brother, and I cannot remember the younger brother's name, but Maciano was supposedly the son in the middle that got killed. If it was even real and not something off of a fucking movie. Yeah, but they changed my video, sir. They changed my video. I took off my hat and said, imagine that. Me working for you, because you guys, not you, but them, said, no girls, no cops, no kids working for us. And I guess that's a paid informant thing, but I didn't know that because they're saying it in my head. And I had no idea they were even paid informants. Because whoever I was talking to, I didn't know who they were. I thought you were FBI. / DEA. They said, no girls, no cops, no kids. Oh, okay, well, I'm a girl, and I'm not a cop, but... my brother Robbie, my little brother, you're right, him and his girlfriend back then in 2022 when we lived in my mom's house, they were getting text messages and stuff from you guys up here. You guys up here in your call center called my mother twice to talk to me, asking me to pay taxes on my $1 million that I didn't receive yet. You guys from up here wrote my best friend Amanda Tessie, my ex-best friend Amanda Tessie, from my Facebook to calling her, saying, call me, you stupid bitch. You also left her a voicemail from my voice code saying broods after me, which is literally a gang in Portland. You also messaged my friend Scott Kerr from my old life saying, you stupid faggot. And I'm like, dude, I didn't say that, dude. I didn't say that. The trails from then are now dusted, but back then, like, you could see who did it, but it's still not who did it. You know what I mean? Like, it literally goes to some like one of those things, back in the day, like to pick up the phone, the little back thing with the cord on it. And, what was that called? Command center? No. Anyway, the point is I'm not guilty of nothing. I've never hurt nobody. My baby girl was 10 when I got off drugs, which was 5 years ago, 5 summers ago. Well, it was March, so 4.5 years ago, okay? But it has been 5 summers now that I have not been able to be her mama because I don't have money. So, like, once a month when I get my disability check, I'm like, okay, baby, like, what do you want to do? I'm just sitting here like, please don't spend more than $50. 100 the most. So yeah, it's what I mean. But she's 15 now. She's 15. She was 14. That was a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? Do you remember what it was like to be a 14-year-old? You don't want to hang out with your mom. But she wanted to hang out with me when she's 10. When I was a drug addict and I only did drugs for a couple years, I would go there all the time and see her. She didn't even realize that, like, her not living with me was not the norm. Because I would be there, you know what I mean? I would come there and we'd do stuff. We'd have fun. Nobody had an idea that I was even a drug addict at all. Or that I drank drugs sometimes. But the second I got off drugs and moved to here, I lost my car, I lost my apartment, I lost all my friends and everything. Then I couldn't go see her or nothing because I'm in Vancouver. My mom would drive over there and didn't have a car because my ex-best friend ruined mine. A stupid X5 California license plate. And not just him, 2 other people too. Because when I got my COVID grant, I bought a 2008 X5 with a really bad oil leak, but it was still a good car, you know what I mean? And I could see her whenever I wanted, and I would go see her, all the time. But my family there, her dad, her stepmom had no clue that I was on drugs or nothing, man. And I just kept telling her, I'm like, soon, baby, I'm going to get a job, and then you'll be able to live with me, because I couldn't have her live with me part-time or nothing with that situation. And then after I got off drugs, it was the same thing. I just kept telling her, I'm going to get a job soon because these people kept promising me they were going to give me money for a car at the very least. And that was in 2022. Little baby girl sweat. I'm like, honey, I'm going to get a job soon. I'm going to get a car soon. And you'll be able to live with me part-time. And she's like, yay, mommy, I'm so excited. I can't wait. you know, and then we dance or we do whatever we did when I hung out there, and I leave. You know, can you imagine that? I know that's what I mean. You just picture like this deadbeat mom and this deadbeat dad promising their fucking kids something and not following through on it because they're a piece of shit. I was not a piece of shit, and I'm not a piece of shit now. How the fuck did the ambulance lady know my vitiligo shit? How does she know that in the ambulance? Huh? I was never diagnosed with a vitiligo problem in my skin, man. I didn't even know what vitiligo was. I had to look it up. It's exactly what I have. It's an autoimmune disease. It takes a pigment out of your fucking skin. From up here. Or was it you guys when I submitted whatever you say with a pip slap video? Or maybe it was you pulling up my black thing where they're solving cases in my head and being like, oh, well, that's not what that was. That was something different. But you know how to read minds, right? So should I call you guys again and be like, hey, just, you know, like, I know you can read minds and stuff. They're like, we don't read minds. Well, you want to get on my head really good, but just so you know, you're gonna have to go to Arizona, Portland, Arizona, Vancouver, Portland, Arizona, and then you'll be able to find me, and then you'll not be able to get back to where you were to make a report that goes to the ground because apparently we're being run by Iran. It's proud to be an American. Release and raise the jihad flag. Artificial echelon intelligence of the universe. My first, third, and Sixth Amendment rights have been severely broken by your people, not yours, sir. In Vancouver, Portland, Seattle, I meant. Fuck Portland. I have a friend in Portland. I call her Cherry, but I also have Miss Cherry Oz in my brain center. At least that's what she calls herself, from DEA, Arizona. And then I think Miss Marcy O'Donnell is here sometimes. And that's not me doing that, whatever that is. And whatever you're seeing me do, if you even watch this video, because you're just like them probably, you guys have already told me I don't have a problem giving you enough money to last for the rest of your life, to be a good mom to your big girls, right? Or even just a normal human being halfway. You still cannot have sex. You still can't take a shower without being seen. You still can't go to the doctors or the gynos or nothing without people making fun of you out loud and silently. But, you know, at least we can give you money so that you can function a little normally, or a little more normal. And, you know, but my daughter was 10 then. She's 15 now. 15. I stopped telling her promises 3 years ago. You won't disconnect me, and I fucking hate you. I hate you so much, man. I hate you so much, my son. Elijah Jimenez, he had never even been arrested yet. When I got off drugs, all I wanted to do was be a good mom to my daughter because I couldn't have her coming over to my house with him coming in and out and me being a drug addict. They didn't know I did drugs. I just went there and seen her instead. They didn't know. I just had enough. I was like, I can't do this no more. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna like give up my apartment. Who cares? I just had enough, and I left. I came here to Washington to live with my mom and he got off drugs. He was supposed to be leaving to Arizona, and he did, but not for a couple months. And somebody up here gave him money for a stupid fucking stolen tow truck or some bullshit. Anyway, the point here is, since then I've lost everything in my apartment. I lost my apartment. I now have an eviction on my record in Portland, Oregon. My family thinks I'm crazy, sort of. I mean, they used to, they don't know, because I didn't have a car. So, like, for those first 3 years, I didn't have a car. So I only got to see my daughter on, like, you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and her birthday, because that's over here in Vancouver. They would do it over here in Vancouver with my ex's parents' house over here. But other than that, that's the only time I got to see her, because my mom was the vehicle and she would drive to Portland. But I didn't even realize that that's how many days had went by, man, in between each one, because every day I'm just sitting here just like I am now. Sitting here every day waiting for them to just send me a check in the mail or disconnect me so I can get a job. And at this point, it's 5 fucking years. I haven't worked in 20 years or more now. And you stole all my fucking good years with my daughter, and I fucking hate you. It's not all the good years, but, you know, from her being little, 10 years old, mommy, dogs to fucking 15. I would hang out with her now. It's cool, you know, but I only still get to see her only once or twice a month because that's the only time I have enough money to do something she'll want to do something with me because she doesn't care about parents anymore, dude. All she wants to do is hang out with her friends. So, Mr. Harrington, Mrs. Cody, what are you gonna do now, huh? Are you gonna let them break federal and state laws, impersonating you? In the alternate universe, they can make false reports go to the ground. They can get me strapped to a gurney and call me vitiligo schizophrenia when I was never diagnosed with either one. Or can make CPS phone calls go to my ex saying I labeled everybody in his house when I didn't because I was you guys. You were trying to figure something out or somebody changed the names or something. I never messaged my niece and nothing weird. I never told nobody nothing. My family didn't know shit about me doing drugs for those couple years or whatever. And my daughter didn't live with me. She did not live with me. My adult sons were adults. They did not live with me either. That was everybody else doing drugs. They may or may not have kids. They were good parents or shitty parents, which wasn't me. It wasn't me. You hear him? You can't even fucking hear him, huh? Timothy, I'm so sorry. Timothy, I'm so fucking sorry. That's all they do. They wake up. I wake up every fucking day and they'd be like, "Fuck you, Timothy, suck my dick." This is literally the shit they're saying through my computer, through my phone, and through my fucking head, but I can't fucking prove it. But I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Tim. I'm so sorry, Timothy." But you know what? They're looking at some perfect girl. Then up here, in the alternate universe that has to deal with it. She's never had an STD. She never was homeless. She never did drugs. She never got her drugs by herself for her own fucking kids when she was only fucking homeless for a bad situation. The first fucking place, it wasn't her fault. It's just a fucking bunch of perfect act people who have to fucking deal with it. Oh, wait. But they all get money, huh? I'd rather go to hell than be one of them. You hear me? I'm a fucking Christian mother who has never been in trouble. I know I'm cussing, but that does not say you do not cuss in the Bible. It says, "Thou shalt not judge, lest ye be judged. Love thy neighbor as yourself." Okay? That's Christianity for me on my constitutional right number 1, and you're breaking it. And so are they. And the second you man up or they man up and admit it on the ground where the humans are at is the second the world changes to be a better motherfucking place. And if it doesn't, well, keep your words soft and sweet, or someday you may have to eat them, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I feel a little vindictive right now.
Their mouths are filled with scripture, but their hearts filled with aggression. They congregate and listen to the hate come from their reverend. They pray for politicians, but ignore the poor suppression. If they're the ones that get to go to heaven, I'd rather go to hell.
In an alternate universe, sir, ma'am, who might be watching this fire that comes out of this will come out of your computer screen. 3D, if you have my IC3.
I guess I'd rather go to hell. They judge and they scoff at me. They act like salvation they offer me. They want you applauding them, but they're defrauding. Inside they are rotting so awfully. Of Jesus, they're making a mockery. They use him for power and profiting.
Anyway, so she's not a Christian. Shut the fuck up. You don't know I'm a Christian if you fucking see one. Sorry, I said that one. Here's the thing, man. That's what I'm saying. Like you got like the Apostle Paul. You know about Judas and Peter, right? They like betrayed Jesus and shit. Before he went on the cross, whatever. One of them was his homie, but he betrayed him for money or shillings or something. The other one was just a piece of crap till he saw him raised from the dead or whatever. Whether the story is true or not, the point here is I have seen miracles. I've seen people sick being healed by somebody prayed for them through God or whatever. I've seen money show up when it wasn't there. a lot of times, like at least twice for my mom. Dude, some lady walked up to my mom and me when she had gotten beat up by her boyfriend, and she couldn't work. Her shoulder got displaced or whatever. And it was taking a little while for her disability to kick in or whatever. She was CNA, and we're in Winco, trying to get some groceries or whatever. And some lady walks up to us and she's like, "Is your name Carol?" And my mom's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Hi, Carol. God told me to give you this." And she gives her an envelope. It's a white envelope. And she's like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And she walks off, right? And my mom opens the envelope, and literally my mom and me had been praying that God would help us with the rent because she couldn't pay the rent. It was literally a fucking check written out to my mother, Carol Browning, for the rent amount. We'd never seen that lady before in our life. And how the hell did she know where the fuck we were if you were FBI or something? That was years ago. You want to tell me you can't make something go to the ground? You better make something go to the ground for this mom who's never been in trouble. I wrote a poem once. It's called A Poem to Live Life By. It says, live for today, never tomorrow. Give unto others should they ask you to borrow. Pull the sun from inside with all of your might and shine on others with a glorious light. For there is nothing like sharing the gift of love that was sent from the one in heavens above. Give to those who love and never forsake you. Only then will you see where honor can take you, where friendship, happiness, and love will never come to be. Until truth, respect, and honor are the keys that set you free. Once this is done, you will start to comprehend that what you do comes back to you until the very end. So throw away your anger and break down your wall of pride and give the world the greatest gift which you have kept inside. Heal a broken heart and put a smile on someone's face, for the feeling of summer true cares can never be erased. Okay? Oh, by the way, after they strapped me to the gurney and I went to the schizo clinic and there was already a schizophrenic tab from the lady in the ambulance on it, they made me go to like therapy, right? And then guess what? My therapist quit me from something you guys said to him up here, aka he got fired for something that happened up here. I'm not really sure which one's the truth, but something in there is definitely the truth. I don't need no fucking therapy. I know exactly what's wrong with me. It's you and them. I'm a good fucking person. I've never been in trouble. I'm a beautiful human being. I've never been in trouble. I've never done nothing wrong. I don't have a guilty motherfucking conscience of nothing at all. At all. And every day, can you imagine going to prison for something? Your daughter's 10 years old. You didn't do something right. You go to prison. You're sitting there just regretting what you did. Or maybe you didn't do it at all. And you miss out on 5 years of your daughter growing up. You're a good mom. A mom, not a dad, a mom. Thank God she's got a fucking good dad and a fucking good stepmom. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the fucking point. My daughter is healthy as fuck. She's a good fucking girl. She just graduated 8th grade with honors. She just went to Asia. She's sitting here talking to me about, I don't know which high school to go to because the academics and all that. She's like, she's talking in bigger words than I knew in high school. She's a good fucking girl. She loves me. She's my daughter. And she is just like me in her heart. We are both cancers. She deserves her mama to have enough money to be able to be a good mom to her, meaning I will have to move to Oregon to be closer to her and have to buy a place because now I have an eviction because somebody up here didn't pay for it. And once I get this money, I'm going to have to get kicked off disability. And I'm only on disability because you not doing your job. And these people are like, I'm sorry, Tiffany, we can't disconnect you because don't disconnect us. The other people are saying, well, I'm sorry, Tiffany, we can't disconnect you because you'll die because you're being kept alive by a computer. That's why it gets switched. That's why this happened. That's why this is why I've been in the hospital 5 times. Like, it's so many different things that I can't prove. I mean, I can, but I can't because it's all classified. It's classified. Right. You are like a mirage, a rare breed, a Virgo and Cancer. Yep, it's hard indeed. But it's in your makeup and in your blood, within your soul. There's so much love. Like a constant battle of what is right when it doesn't matter who wins the fight. You are my strength sent from above. I'm your silk mama. They'll push and shove. I'll be mistaken but never forgotten. And you will rise straight to the top. I'll be the fire and then the rain. They'll try to front but will bring the pain. You are a warrior just like your mama. Beyond all life's Confucius drama. Unconditional love beyond the end. Your mama's love is your best friend. Tears in my eyes for time we missed. And dog damn it, I'm fucking pissed. You are God's creation and mine too. You are my daughter through and through. I wrote that to my daughter this year for her birthday. I didn't have enough money to get her a present because we went camping and I had to spend the money on an air mattress or something different. Because, like I said, I'm on disability. So, so they're supposed to pay like a certain amount of money for rent, and I have like $300 bills, and I do have a slight drinking problem here in my bedroom by myself because I hate my life. I've gotten way better though. I used to drink a lot of straight alcohol all day. I wake up drinking, go to sleep drinking. Nobody even do that though. It's just me and the people on YouTube that see me pick up the half gallon and drink it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not what I'm saying. But my son is homeless, and every time he comes here, I get scared that they're gonna watch him corner me down or torture me on the ground because he's doing drugs or something, or trying to say that he's doing drugs right in front of me. Like, I can't help it if he goes in the bathroom and does something that I can't see. You know what I'm saying? I've already had to talk to him before. It's like, I don't want you doing. I've seen him do drugs, dude. I was homeless too. I can't see. He's like, Mama. He's like, I'm homeless, man. What do you want me to do, man? I'm homeless, man. I'm sitting on the fucking in a fucking camp. You can't get mad at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. Me too. I'm not mad at him at all. I'm mad at you. Not giving me the opportunity to be a normal human being, to have a boyfriend to take care of me, or not that at all. Maybe just get a job 5 years ago after I have not worked for 20. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe just give me my money. Right, your wrinkly PUSSYs all over the internet. Your PUSSY videos are something different. Timothy and Katie, the dating sluts, on my fucking Facebook. I'm all, first of all, how the fuck did you guys know the dating word? Because the dating word was written in my scrolls on the ground where the humans are at, and nobody else knew about it except you up here. But yet it goes to the ground where other people can see it. Now I'm the dating slut. No wonder why she's getting money. I didn't get money. I've never once gotten money from nobody. And I never did porn. Not virtual porn, not videography porn, nothing. It's against my religion. So, sir, Mr. Harrington, if you really want to take control over Oregon, or Mr. Saccone, Miss Christy H, or whatever it is. I'm sorry, dude. Whatever it is, dude. This game did not come from Vancouver, Washington. It came from Portland, Oregon. My friends that did drugs are the ones who hooked me into this situation. They were the ones talking to me in my head when they made me stand there and then lay down. And I only did it because I didn't want them to be mad at me anymore because I lied to them about something. That's it. It was a lie that I told them, and they were mad, like super mad. This was after I had gotten off drugs. It was literally 6 months later. I was still connected to them. While these people next to me are like, oh, it's just that's just a ghost voice. Is there? Okay, I'm going to move across the bridge to get the fuck away from that because that's really weird. I get off drugs, and guess what? They're still there. Here I am, 5 years later. It's cool. Not a big deal. Other than you've ruined my life. False CPS reports. Cool. It's fine. Not just that, I don't even have my own thoughts all the way. Like, I can't even sit here, like, when it was my, like, getting close to my daughter's birthday, like, every day I'd be like, okay, so, like, I know I need to not sit here in front of the mirror 18 hours a day while they're driving my train to look at the mirror. So they're not just looking in the mirror, they're looking through my eyes. It's so many different. I wake up, I can't even get up and pee. Like, I feel like I'm going to pee my pants or get a bladder infection. I'm like, just hold on, and don't open your eyes, or whatever they're saying. And I don't even know if the Vancouver PD or the Portland Police Bureau or some police officer woman was up here recently and made a report. And I don't know what state she's from because it has to go through so many different people. And they said, oh, they took it out to put it up here for something different. But everything they say could be a fucking lie. Like, it doesn't even matter, man. But, what you do comes back to you. And you need to hold yourself accountable, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Saccone. In Portland, Vancouver, Washington, Seattle. You guys need to hold yourself accountable for this being the situation for me, the human being who's never been in trouble. And I know you guys would probably never ever look at any drug dealer or drug addict. I'm sorry, I was not a drug dealer necessarily. I was something different. An ex-drug addict or anything, like, as anything other than that. Maybe that's all you've seen. Like, oh, she's just a drug dealer. She's just a drug addict. I don't know why they keep saying drug dealer. I'm not a drug dealer. That's everybody else, man. I was not a fucking drug dealer, dude. Remember the first COVID social distance ass? When everybody got us extra money and everybody got laid off? Yeah. We dealt drugs then when I was basically almost homeless. I had just got my apartment. They sold drugs for me, sort of, just to feed my habit back then, our habit. So I didn't live in my apartment by myself. Because I thought, at some point we would get jobs or whatever. But anyway, that was literally for like 2 months. I wasn't even a real drug dealer, and I'm not one now. I don't do drugs. I had clean hair follicle tests all over the internet. I had clean hair follicle tests last year, July 3rd, July 5th, July 17th. I had one this year. I had one 3 months ago, 3 months before that. Like, I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not a drug addict. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about and why the fuck they're saying drug dealer out of my mouth. Or whatever it isn't. I don't know, I just want one more thing. I just can't find it now. Nothing. I just want to show him something. Journal thing. Oh God. So then everyone in 20 minutes, Mr. Columbia. Nobody cares about it. See, that's what I'm saying. It's the same old shit. It's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I said last time for that. Every time I might add more details or less details or whatever it is, but it's still the same fucking story and nobody cares. They care up here, but they don't where the humans are at. They cannot make it go to the ground, but yet they say they're FBI and DEA. So you can make me go to the hospital 5 times. You do know you gave me a heart attack, right? You do know you did something to my brain to where every once in a while I start having tremors now. I'm 46. Oh, by the way, my arms are wrinkly, so is my neck. All of a sudden, while I'm sitting here burning in my body and I can't prove it to the hospital. Huh? Maybe you just sit in my body right now, my privates are burning. If I go like that, guess what? Woo! There's a picture being thrown up there. Do you think I don't know how crazy it sounds sometimes? I do, until you get my body and you're like, shit, she was telling the truth. Gosh, dang it. I've been in this game for, I don't know, 14 years. I went to college. I've never seen a game brain stem count like this. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard every story in the book. Some lawyership program, whatever, man. Whatever. Okay, no. June 20th, 2026. Today I went to the Kid Cudi concert with my daughter at the Clark County Fairgrounds and her boyfriend, and it was one of the best days I've ever had. I was so thankful to have that moment with her and her boyfriend. He was so sweet and cute. I just love watching them vibe together. It was an amazing experience. That's my journal. You know what Kid Cudi is? I didn't really know who he was either, other than a different one song. I knew one of his songs. Anyway, that's a song. That's me and my daughter and her boyfriend. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I should have, for the last 5 years, like, there's 3 years that, you know, it is my fault a little bit, but like I said, like, I was involved in her life, but she didn't live with me. So, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a whole lot of missing information there from 5.5 to 10 years old. But from 10 years old to 15 now, that's your fault. That's your motherfucking fault still. It's your fault. Won't you take responsibility then, Mr. I like to own the universe? Huh? I'm not talking to Mr. Harrington. Sir. They know who they are, man. Then get it to the fucking ground then. Get it to the fucking ground. You know how to fucking change Facebook pages? You know how to change my passwords? I cannot see any of my pictures from being a mommy at all. You know what this lighter looks like? What is this lighter, huh? What does this lighter do? Huh? What does it do? What does this lighter do? Huh? What does this lighter do? Lights a fire when there's no wind, right? Right. You're camping and shit. Maybe you're a barbecuer. That's all it does for me either. Can't say the same for every motherfucking buddy else over there in Portland getting money, huh? No, we're just gonna look past them making mistakes because we want to stay connected in an alternate universe and pretend that's not what they're doing. So I'll show you something really quick. So how much fun she was having. It's my daughter and her boyfriend. Yeah, you think I did it? Yeah, that's me. I know, and it's just so sad because they know I'm on disability. They don't know why. I can't explain it to them. The only people that know the truth or can understand what I'm not saying is everybody that I drugs with from Portland. And they played the game, which is not me. And they will never tell you that necessarily. But if it really does come down to that, that's really fucked up that you don't care about a human being. Civil rights, human being rights, whack law rights, constitutional rights being broken. An innocent mother who's never been in trouble. She did drugs for a couple years, sure. Her daughter didn't live with her. There was no drugs being done in the apartment in front of kids or whatever Anthony said to get Tanika kicked out of my apartment when I lived here with my mom. That's what he said to her parole officer. He texted my mom the same thing. And I'm like, what the fuck, you psycho? And I went there to see what was up. And next thing you know, he breaks my back window. And I didn't live there. Like, I never got, and I didn't get no, like, you're kicked out, you're late on rent or nothing. There was no notices in my mail or nothing. Like, I had literally left my apartment. And the last person I talked to, he said, you can come back anytime you want and get your stuff. Because it's connected to the office and nobody really, they're not really working in the manager's office or from bedroom or whatever. They just go in there every once in a while. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. You know what I'm saying? But he kept coming back into town and breaking in to my apartment through the front room door. They'd kick it in. Then eventually they boarded the whole thing up to where he couldn't do it and they screwed the back door shut. Well, he broke into it and then he unscrewed the back door shut, so now the back door can't lock no more. Anyway, that doesn't even matter, man. Anyway, you stole years from me and my baby girl, Sre. From 10 to 15 years old now. And you should be held accountable on the ground where the humans are at and in heaven, if you believe in it and if you don't. I'm a good fucking person. I have never been in trouble. I'm not a drug addict. I only drink this much by myself in my room because you won't give me my fucking money to be a good mom to my daughter. You guys up here said I don't have a problem giving her enough money to last for the rest of her life because we can't disconnect her because it'll fucking disconnect us. But ... Nobody knows what the problem is here. Yes, last year, like I said, last year in July, there was a revolt that happened. On July 18th through the end of the month. Every couple days, something happened. It was me doing it to get you to disconnect me, and you wouldn't do it. Eventually, you came down here and you said, that's enough, Tiffany. We got you. We got your back. We're sorry. We thought you were someone else. Go throw it away. So I did. I would throw it away, threw the thing away, and never look back, thinking that you were going to have my back and give me my money. After you told me you set me up. I don't need a social worker to come here and check on me if I'm going to kill myself or not. If I die in real life because I kill myself, that's your fault. Your fault. Not mine, yours. But I will never kill myself in real life because I have fucking kids and I don't want them to go through that. I remember what I felt like when my dad died, dude. All I did was fucking regret every time I didn't spend with him. My kid's homeless on the fucking streets. He doesn't have anybody else but me. If I die, he dies too. Then so does his sister inside.